Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Ismail and today I'm really excited to talk about today's topic. But before I go ahead and do so, I want to ask you this small question. Have you ever been put on the spot where you had to deliver a speech to a number of people, a large number of people, or even few number of people, for example, to explain an idea to them, to give your opinion on a particular topic, or even to answer a question most of the times? Now, I've been in that situation before and it is not that pleasant at all at the beginning, but later on, once you get to connect with the audience, once you get to understand them and they get to understand you and interact even more, speak openly with them, it's going to be just fine. You just need to take a deep breath. You need to be calm and be confident at the same time as well. Now, these sorts of speeches are called impromptu speeches. What is an impromptu speech? It's basically every time you speak to an audience without any sort of preparation, and it's normally based on knowledge, on something that you know about, you've heard it, you read about it somewhere, or you got it from a particular source. Now, a lot of people, they do not realize that they go through and they do impromptu speeches in their daily interactions, either at their workplace, either when they gather with their families, with their friends, because every time you gather with the family and friends, there are going to be a lot of questions, a lot of, I would say, opinion-based topics, and every time you talk for, say, a minute, 2 minutes, or 3 minutes, or even doesn't matter the time, without any preparation, is considered to be an impromptu speech. Now, I'll give you an example of people that are really, really good in impromptu speeches. People like celebrities, people like politicians, people like social media influencers, football players as well. Whenever they go in an interview, they will be asked a lot of questions from fans. They will be asked a lot of questions by journalists. So they will answer these questions deliberately, and they will answer them consciously in a really good, convincing way. They did not specifically prepare for that question or for that particular topic, but they do know about the topic they're asked. Therefore, it's considered to be an impromptu speech. Now, impromptu speeches are divided into three types. The first type are speeches based on personal experience. It's something that happened to you or someone you know about. Now, you've been asked about it by someone. Therefore, you need to have that answer there with you. And again, you did not prepare for it. It's a personal experience. Someone asked you on the spot, and now you need to give the answer. The second type is hypothetical and situational speeches. It means it depends on the situation at that really moment, what happened in that moment, how people are handling whatever you asked about at that moment, and how it was answered by you. Now, the last type is speeches that are based on personal opinion. Again, if someone asks you, what do you think of so and so, what do you think of the weather, what do you think of this car, what do you think of that, this is considered to be a speech based on a personal opinion. Now, in order to have a really good impromptu speech, you need to do three things, and you need to do them constantly every day. The first thing that you need to do is to practice daily. Choose a random topic, topics that you're not afraid to talk about, topics that are easy. Record them whenever you give those speech to yourself, and then analyze it. Criticize yourself in order to have a really good, better impromptu speech next time you go on stage and talk to people or asked by someone to talk about a particular topic. Now, the second thing you need to do is to compose your thoughts and ideas before going and delivering the speech, and divide your time as well. Now, you got to know that in every speech there is an introduction, there is a main body, and there is a conclusion as well. You have to know what you're going to include in your introduction, how you're going to start this speech. Are you going to start with a sense of humor, trying to be funny a little bit to kind of entertain the audience, or you're going to start with a story as well, which is as well entertains the audience. Now, you got to understand, you got to know what you're going to include as well in your main body. Is it going to be 2 points? Is it going to be 3 or 4? It depends on the kind of speeches you have or the kind of topics you will talk about. The last thing you're gonna have to be careful when preparing for is your conclusion, because it's really important. This is the last thing your audience will remember. Either they're gonna stick in their minds because it's gonna be really good and phenomenal, or it's gonna be just weak and people are not gonna remember it. So therefore, you really need to be careful preparing for the conclusion of every speech that you give or do to an audience. Now, the last thing you need to prepare for if you wanna have a really good impromptu speech is working on your level of confidence. Your confidence is going to be really high. A lot of people will be asking, how do I work on my confidence? Be at home, talk to someone that you're not afraid of, your wife, your husband, a family member, or a friend, and talk to them, give a speech to them, and then they will give you, I would say, criticism. They will criticize you, tell you, be good here, be good there. And speak to yourself sometimes as well. Speak to the mirror, see how are you going to perform to yourself. This is actually really gonna give you a good confidence whenever you face a larger audience. Start with talking to one person, and then two person, and then three, and then 10. And without you know it, you will be able to talk to hundreds of people without any fear or confusion. Now, this is it for today. I really hope you enjoyed today's topic and you understood the concept of impromptu speech. How do I prepare for impromptu speech, and what are they good at? Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day.